Did you see the new footage of Polo G's mom shooting at his sister?
It's her daughter, right?
Yes.
Insane.
So, I've said this to Polo G, so this was a rumor I was hearing, right?
And isn't Polo G's brother charged with murder right now?
Vlad.
I know he has a family of shooters.
Vlad, there was 3 to 4 people in the industry, cameramans, people who are again, they're not artists, but like they're ancillary to they're whatever. They told me, they said, hey, listen, we went to work with what we thought was Polo G. His brother robbed us. So what, he robbed you of? You're not rich. He took our camera. He took this. He went through our pockets. No other guy. He took his chain, forced him to wire money or send money on his phone. All types. And I remember hearing this. I was just like, this doesn't sound right. I know these guys are from Chicago, but it's impossible. This was like a cautionary tale for me, right? Like, for example, and I'm putting a little bit of my personal experience. Like, my mom would be like, she calls me Junior because I got the same name as that. She said, you need to, don't surround yourself with too much strangers. You need to have family around. But that is a good thing, but it's not a good thing. For example, that's what's going on with Polo G. He brought his sister along, his brother along, and his mom is his manager. His brother, he tried to make an artist, didn't work out. What he could rely back on is, well, I was a thug and I was a goon back in Chicago. So now I'm around these rich guys. Let me just show them I'm like that. The sister, she has no disrespect to her. She has no marketable talents, but she's running around as a diva because we're living in the Shade Room era. Then the mom is managing slightly the business, but also are managing kids. And if you ever have to talk to somebody who's kind of dealing with both, it's very complicated. And also she's in the limelight as well. It's now turned into a situation. The brother's locked up for murder and a bunch of robberies. The sister just published the video that the mom is shooting at her. Polo G, imagine Polo G, a guy who has multi-platinum records.
He got caught with a gun recently also.
Got caught with a gun in a Manhattan hotel room by the maid. What do you think about, and it doesn't have to be about Polo G, but people hear this a lot. You should keep your family around you when you make it to the top. I think, I'm not saying you shouldn't, but you need professionals.
Yeah.
You need professionals around you.
Yeah. I don't agree with any of that. I've always kept my family at a distance. I ran into Polo G. I did one of Polo G's first interviews. And then, and he even told me how when he was in jail, he wrote that like on a piece of paper, like one of my goals to get a Vlad TV interview.
Really?
Yeah. We had a good interview. It was cool. And then he blew up after that. And then one day, remember Italy Chopper? Me and him kind of had some back and forth. Italy Chopper, before that, had wrote like, DJ Vlad's the police. And then Polo G was like, I agree, or something like that.
Did he?
Yeah. And I'm like, huh? So I'm in Calabasas at the bank. This is during the pandemic. And I'm looking in line, and Polo G's in line in the same bank.
Do you instantly recognize him?
Yeah. And he instantly recognizes me. And I'm like, what's up? He's like, what's up?
He says, what's up?
We both say what's up.
Oh, shit.
We both recognize each
When
other.
I hear people say to you, like, you're the cop, I imagine they're like, oh, the police is here, let's leave, let's run off.
No, it's not like I've interviewed him. Like, you know. So we see each other and we recognize each other, and I'm like, hey, when you're done, can we go outside and talk? He's like, sure. And he has his brother with him, who's very...
We're talking about Trench Baby.
I guess...
That's the guy who got arrested.
Multiple brothers?
No, the one who got arrested, his name is Trench Baby.
See, I'm not sure if it's that brother or someone else, but it looked like a little dude. Like, he wasn't... It didn't look like a bodyguard. It looked like a little homie or something.
Yeah, all I know is his brother got arrested. His name is Trench Baby. And every time people tell me a story about him, I'm like, why would you trust that you would be safe around somebody named Trench Baby? Go ahead, though.
So we go outside. It's me, him. And
you have security or no?
Huh? No, I'm by myself.
You're at the bank, though. Federally protected.
I'm in Calabasas.
Yeah.
You know? And so we just talk. And I'm like, I'm like, yo, like, when you were first starting out, I invited you to my platform.
You confronted him?
Yeah, well, not confronted. Like I'm not.
Or not like also antagonistic. Like yo, I'm
no. I'm just like, yo, like why tweet that out?
talk this man, yeah,
publicly
wow.
with the platform, with the following that you have. He was like, yo, like some of the questions you ask potentially can get certain artists in trouble, and he, I think he mentioned like Tusi or something. He was like, yeah, when you ask Tusi, you know, does he feel like he need to get, does he feel like he would want to get revenge for the dudes that shot like his grandfather or something like that potentially, whatever. And I'm like, bro, I mean, you ask people their feelings. Like, just because you ask someone something doesn't mean that they're going to go and do it. Like, we all have our feelings about shit. And, nothing I've ever said has ever hemmed anybody up, regardless of what you may think people are saying on the internet. You see how I'm saying? This is before the whole Keefe D situation, whatever else. And I'm just I'm just disappointed that you would publicly say that when you could get a hold of me. Like, if you have a problem with something I'm doing, you could just DM me, or hit me up. I'm easy to reach, because no, I feel you, but, and I'm like, I understand your point as well. Let's just exchange numbers, whatever else. And I'm like, yeah. I remember I texted him at one point. He didn't respond. And that was it. But it seems like artists get to a certain point and they start to their egos start to get big. And they feel like they don't need to, they're almost like the rules don't apply to them. The younger Polo G would have been like, oh, this dude put me on my platform. I'm having a problem somebody's doing. Let me just reach out to him and say, hey, thank you for putting me on. I don't like when you do this. We could have a conversation, whatever else, as opposed to publicly insulting somebody. You know what I mean? And I think that's the problem with certain artists, is that they get big and they feel like they're too big to deal with reality. Yeah, I'm going to carry a gun. And when I get caught, my lawyer will take care of it. Yeah, my brother's doing whatever, but I got the money and I'll just bail him out. Yeah, my mom's shooting off her gun. But yeah, whatever, who cares? I'll pay for everything. I'm Polo G. The judge is probably a fan of mine. Like, you know what I mean? Like, somehow in their head, they start to feel like the rules don't apply. I think Polo G is a victim of that. Because as you can see, everything around him is turning into chaos. Yeah. And that gun charge in New York,
no joke.
That's a no joke charge. You don't carry a gun in Sebastian Telfair just got off house arrest after 5 years over a gun in New York. And he was bringing it from Florida. They pulled him over. They found it in there. It wasn't a legal gun. It just wasn't registered in New York.
Wow.
So you bring a gun. You don't have a carry permit in New York, Polo G. Like, nobody does. None of us going to get them. Clearly, you brought that gun from someplace else, and now he's got to deal with the repercussions of that. And that's the problem, is that no matter how much money you get, how many fans you get, people like Tory, you can let the internet puff your head up to think that the rules don't apply to you. And then you find out the rules actually do apply to you.
Yeah.
In the worst possible way. It's his brother with a murder charge. I wonder if that's the little dude that was there when I was talking to him.
Probably.
Now, I wasn't aggressive with Polo G at all.
You better be lucky.
But I stood my ground.
Would everybody tell me, Trench baby, crash out?
Yeah, no, he just stood there quietly, watched us talk. He wasn't, his little brother or whoever that wasn't trying to, whatever. He just sat there and watched us. He was letting grown folks talk, basically. And it was like, I didn't feel threatened by him, but I wasn't threatening with him either. But I was addressing what he said as I should.
I feel bad for Polo G because you're the one with the talent. You're the one that has brought this fame upon yourself. You chose to try to make this a family business, except you've had family turmoil, and that still will continue despite it now being business. Yeah. And now, since you've now platformed these people who are family business now becomes
your business.
Not only your business, TMZ business. Yeah, I hope everything goes good for him. Hey, real quick.
I got nothing against him, man. I hope he does well. I hope he learns from his mistakes, because he's lucky enough to get past this, a certain hump. And I remember, I remember I'd asked him about Young Chop, Because I guess originally he had signed a Young Chop, but then he ended up leaving Young Chop, and I think there was some bad feelings. I remember when I talked about Young Chop in the interview, they asked me to take that part out. And I come to find out that there's sort of some bad situations that happened with that.
Yeah.
Young Chop, I heard, is still locked up, by the way.
He's incarcerated?
Yeah.
I was wondering, I'm like, yo, where the hell he been at?
Yeah, so for animal cruelty and
Animal cruelty?
apparently he had tortured a dog or some
No
shit.
way.
Or I don't know. It was something crazy. Then he shot off a gun, and apparently he's still I think he's in Georgia in some mental institution or something like that.
No, hey, all I remember is that he started barking up the wrong tree, and from what was being said, a few of them trees started barking back, and gladfully, I know it's gonna sound fucked up what I'm about to say. I'm glad he didn't get hurt, because I'm hearing that there was a lot of things in play that may have jeopardized him. You know,
I mean, Young Chop is kind of he's like the Dr. Dre of Chicago drill.
Yeah, Chief Keef just went back to Chicago. I actually wanted to see Chop come out on stage. You produce, have him
busy.
his.
He was locked up.
Wow.
He was not able to make that show. Lil Reese should have made the show, though. He has no excuse.
Yeah.